5 years and $175 million sounds pretty good to someone like you or me, but to Dak Prescott, it's just not to his perceived net worth. This would average out to $35 million a year. Dak reportedly wants to get paid, quote, just like everyone else. Well, what is like everyone else? Like Patrick Mahomes at $50 million a year? Or like Russell Wilson who's making $35 million a year? Does Dak honestly think he's worth more than Russell Wilson? Or does he just know he's the next man up who usually gets paid like in the case of Jared Goff? Hola friends, welcome to Take Some Fuego. Today we take a look at Dak Prescott and why, quite frankly, he just might not be a Dallas Cowboy in the near future. Every now and then someone breaks the record for a contract and you go, that guy? For example, Matt Stafford broke the record to become the NFL's highest paid quarterback in 2017 at 5 years, $135 million. And then the market was reset again when Jared Goff broke the record for guaranteed money with his 4-year, $134 million contract. This was, of course, before the Patrick Mahomes contract, and the Rams knew that contract was coming, so they offered Goff lesser money before Mahomes signed that contract, which is the clear problem with signing NFL quarterbacks. Very rarely is it appeared as who is the best quarterback. They should receive the most money. More often it is who is the next quarterback to sign a contract. They should receive the most money. If Mahomes is worth $50 million a year, then what is Dak worth? Well, in Dak Prescott's head, probably in line with $50 million a year. This is how it has worked for years after all. But if Dak signed his offered 5 years and $175 million contract, only 2 quarterbacks would make more than him in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. So how did we get here? Dak was one of the best contracts in the NFL just 1 year ago. His rookie contract averaged $680,000 a year. This allowed the Cowboys to pay a lot of their surrounding stars on big contracts. Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, DeMarcus Lawrence, and 3 of their offensive line will average over $10 million a year on their current contracts. This is the benefit of having a quarterback on one of these smaller contracts. You're able to spread out the money to his supporting cast. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, Dak's supporting cast has made him look good or at least serviceable, and now he wants to cash in. He reportedly wants to make, quote, at least $40 million yearly. This according to reports near the Cowboys camp. And Dak is not totally complaining this year. His franchise tag made him $31 million richer. The Cowboys may opt to franchise tag him again in contract negotiations, but that would mean they're paying Dak $37.2 million, very near the $40 million he's already asking for. Let's look at the problem if the Cowboys were to sign Dak to a $40 million yearly contract. Jerry Jones is quoted in the Dallas Inquirer to say, quote, "There's all sorts of analytics out there that show if your quarterback takes up too big a percentage of your salary cap, that it decreases your chances to win. We're just trying to figure out the right fit." And he's right. In the last 3 years, the quarterbacks who hit the team's cap the highest all didn't make it to the playoffs. This was Matt Stafford in 2019, Jimmy Garoppolo in 2018, and Joe Flacco in 2017. If you're paying Dak Prescott $40 million a year, that will be more than Dallas's entire offensive line in yearly contracts. So who is worth more to this Dallas team, Dak Prescott or his offensive line? Well, if we look at the advanced analytics, the Cowboys were the second best offensive line in the league last year. They were second in pass protection, making Dak Prescott's job cleaner and easier. And they were second in run blocking last year as well. And when you consider they have one of the elite running backs in the NFL and an above average receiving core on top of that, yeah, sorry Dak, the team is more important to winning than just you. In my opinion, Dak is a totally average NFL quarterback. He's like a B-. He's totally fine. Numbers wise, last year he was actually quite good with the second most passing yards in the league. The previous year in 2018 though, he didn't have Amari Cooper half the season before the trade, and his pass protection was more towards the bottom of the league. And he passed for the 15th most yards. Sure, Dak Prescott does look great when he has all the time in the world and has good weapons surrounding him, but he ranked 31st in quarterbacks in red zone completion percentage last year and ranked 23rd in completion percentage under pressure. So if you pay Dak, you don't have the money to pay the line, and he's still 23rd in completion percentage under pressure, then what do you have? The 23rd best quarterback in the NFL, making $40 million a year? There's another school of thought where the Cowboys are too late. Mahomes and Watson were basically issued their banks this offseason, and Prescott may want to be in line with Mahomes' $50 million average per year. Now Dak is the next in line for the contract, and he wants to be in the same breadth of contracts as these other guys. Amari Cooper is already making $20 million a year. If you give Dak $40 million a year, they would take up, by themselves, 30% of this year's salary cap. The last team to win a Super Bowl with a quarterback and wide receiver making up over 20% of the team's salary cap was in 1994, when Jerry Rice and Steve Young did it for the 49ers. So who's better, Steve Young and Jerry Rice, or Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper? And they're making a bigger percentage of the cap than these two. Come on, man. If I'm the Cowboys, I'd tag him one more year, maybe increase my offer to adjust for 1 year of salary cap inflation, and if Dak doesn't take it, let him walk. You'll be better off long term than being tied up in an average starting NFL quarterback. Hell, your backup Andy Dalton could probably come in and look serviceable under this offensive line. And if Dak wants to take his chances on another team who wants to pay him $40+ million a year, then let him do it. You're not convincing me Dak's worth that money. But what do you think? If you're the Cowboys, would you pay Dak Prescott? Let me know in the comments. And be sure to subscribe for more Cowboys advice.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?